Welcome to this first webinar on the 2011-2012 Relocate Awards. I'm Karen Collins from the Relocate Awards team, and with me is our Managing Editor, Fiona Murchie. In this webinar, we'll be covering how to enter the Relocate Awards, and later in the series we'll be talking to some of last year's winners to find out why they entered and how winning a Relocate Award has benefited them and their company. First, for those who haven't got involved before, let's have a quick recap. There are 10 awards covering both HR and corporates and a wide range of service suppliers, so there really should be something for everyone. But Fiona, what do you feel is the value of entering these awards?
Well, Karen, I think there's huge value in entering them. For a start, it raises your company's profile and of course your own personal profile. And so that's a huge thing. Improving your business planning, that's worthwhile too, because by the entry process you really go through where you're going in the next few months, years, etc., and what you've actually achieved, which is hugely beneficial. The whole entry process really drives standards up across the whole industry, so from a perspective there, that's very important. If you're recruiting, it's really valuable if you've won an award, or even if you've just got to the shortlisted thing, which is also great, and it helps you to retain talent. Motivating your team and boosting morale, that's very important too, particularly in this really tough climate at the moment. And of course, as everyone knows, success breeds success. Winning or being shortlisted really impresses potential investors, your customers, and of course your management team.
Indeed it does. And the next part of the webinar will focus on the 10 different categories to help you decide which one is right for you.
Yes, and don't forget everything is on our website, relocatemagazine.com. There's plenty of information in the special section about the awards on how to write a winning submission. There are frequently asked questions and of course the entry forms and all the rules. And please don't forget you can call or email us if you have any queries, and contact details will appear on the screen at the end of this webinar.
Great. Now to our category specific questions. First up is Best Relocation Strategy Policy, sponsored by Interdeen International Relocation. Fiona, who is this award aimed at, and does the award cover a specific time period?
Well, this award is aimed mainly at HR people, but it can be a joint effort, or it could be specific relocation managements and consultants. We're really trying to widen this appeal. We certainly want to hear all about your relocation policies and strategies, but also if you've got some talent management or recruitment policy or a new strategy on that side. And of course, in changing times, areas such as crisis management are becoming really important, and then flexible policies, short-term business commuters, all these sort of new areas that are coming on the horizon. We want to hear about what you're doing. Previous winners have been companies like NatWest, and they had a fantastic policy covering their huge group moves. And then last year there was the fabulous example of a leadership programme by Save the Children. Preferably, it should be your policy strategy, something done over 2011, but we're really not being too prescriptive. You could have started a bit earlier and you could have still been waiting for the results. It can be you're still on the journey, work in progress. And suppliers, remember you can work with your clients to make sure they get the recognition they deserve by encouraging them to enter, or you can do a joint entry with them.
Okay. So our second category is Technological Innovation in Relocation, sponsored for the third time by Move Assist International. This is a very popular category, and several questions have come up about this one. One is whether this award could apply to HR software that's used to manage international assignments, and another is whether a cross-cultural support tool or a payroll and tax solution would be equally eligible.
This is a very exciting category because there's so much going on in all sectors, and it's about the solution. We're looking for anything innovative that aids or supports relocation or makes the experience better for those managing or undergoing a relocation move. Technology can cover any area. Yes, it can certainly cover relocation management software, but this sort of software has been around for a number of years, so the judges are really looking for something different, a bit special, that has the edge. Tax tracking, that's another area. Solutions for perhaps global mobility training, communication, cross-cultural tools, language tools. I mean, there's an endless list. And of course, last year we had that special prize we awarded in the removals industry for that fabulous laser pen, so an application as well. All these sorts of things can be included, and that covers areas like recruitment and talent management solutions as well.
Oh well, there's a lot to work on there. Well, thank you, Fiona. That brings us on to Inspirational HR Team of the Year, sponsored by Carter's. Now, a question that comes up frequently is, how do you define a team in this context?
Well, we're often asked that, and really your team can be any size. I mean, you can have a small team, a small HR team within a larger organisation. Your team can be wider, embracing part of the HR, or you can be a single individual working in HR, but working with external suppliers or internal specialist departments. So we're not really too worried about how you define the team. The important thing is that you're exhibiting excellence and best practice and motivating and moving people forward. You don't have to be managing domestic or international assignments either, though obviously that's the classic example. You can be involved in talent management perhaps, or resourcing, or working with, say, an internal department like a tax department. You'll note that previous winners like Sandra Barker from NATS, who worked with her suppliers, and also the Pricoa in Relocation's intercultural team, which was such a strong part of BP's Winning Inspirational HR team.
Excellent. Our next category is Relocation Service Provider or Team of the Year. Now, it seems obvious, Fiona, but what type of organisation should enter this category?
Well, any provider organisation of team, but not HR this time, and of any size, which can demonstrate that it provides excellence and effective relocation support to the clients and their relocatees. We welcome entrants from across the profession, including the relocation management companies, of course, and of course specialist suppliers such as removals, and both UK and internationally based. Previous winners have included Carter's, Pricoa and Robinson's, and of course last year HCR, who was so enthusiastic when they won at the Gala dinner. It was truly a night for them to remember.
Great. Well, some people are wondering whether, given the diversity and different sizes of the potential entrants in this category, it's possible to judge them against each other.
Well, we often subdivide this category to reward different types and sizes of organisations, such as large organisations, small, specialist providers, UK and international. So it very much depends on the breadth of entries we get in a particular year. Several shining examples of smaller companies have won in previous years, for example Beswick Relocation Services, and you'll remember Britain Relocation Services in our first year with that fabulously inspiring case study of moving Reckitt Benckiser staff to East Yorkshire during the catastrophic floods. Of course, last year we had the fabulous international win from ICUNet.ag.
We focus now on the best property provider or solution category. Several people have asked us what sort of companies can enter this category. Is it just for serviced accommodation providers?
No, it isn't, but of course we're thrilled to have so many service accommodation providers entering, and they've supported us right from the beginning. Outstanding winners have been the Ascot Limited and of course Seiko, who won for 3 years. But all property solutions are eligible, so that includes DSPs, serviced accommodation as we've mentioned, letting agents, estate agents and any specialist relocation property providers, conveyancing, etc. Then also there's the specialist people such as furniture rental who provide a really niche but valuable service.
Right, so that brings us on to Rising Star in Relocation, which is designed to encourage the emerging talent and exceptional abilities of an individual within any sector of the relocation industry or a rising new company.
Yes, that's right. And historically, this award has been won by someone new to the industry and growing a business. But the short list depends on who enters in a particular year. The award is aimed at someone rising to the top, whether they're in an HR department within a supplier organisation or an individual growing a business. It's all about rewarding and encouraging future talent and young companies. And for example, last year's was won by Anthony Gala from London Relocation, which was a young company and a young leader. Entering an employee for this award is of course great for motivation, and I would encourage HR people to also think about rising talent in their teams as well as the relocation professionals. It is really a fantastic way of promoting success in your organisation.
Oh yes, and it definitely gives an individual a boost. And one of our most hotly contested categories is Relocation Personality of the Year, sponsored by Server Relocation. Several people have asked us what sort of person would be a worthy winner of this particular award.
Well, Karen, this category is open to those working in the HR and on the corporate side, as well as the relocation suppliers, both UK and internationally based. We're looking really for someone who's contributed to the profession or the industry over a number of years, probably, or that they've achieved something really outstanding. For example, remember our first winner was Carol Moore of GSK, who'd done a huge amount for not only her company but for her fellow HR colleagues in founding the Rug Group and also contributing to ERC. And then of course there was Martin Humphreys, contributing to the education world, and Ian Crichton, who's a fabulous character and well known throughout the furniture rental sector. Then of course last year's winner, hugely popular, was Tadza Linden of ARP and Eura, who's done so much to put relocation on the map over the last 25 years. This category is slightly different from the other categories because you can nominate an individual, you don't have to do it yourself. So to reflect this, there is a slightly shorter entry statement to be completed, and we would urge people to talk amongst their colleagues across the corporate side and with the suppliers to see who is really worthy of winning this accolade, and then perhaps writing a joint submission for them, providing references, etc., because we really do want to honour someone who's made a significant contribution.
But they can of course enter themselves.
Oh yes, of course.
But often that's the way because they know what they've done better than anybody else. And then on to our next category. One of our most recent awards is the Green Achievement Award, which recognises an organisation that has excelled in environmental initiatives and practices. This award is sponsored by ProLink Global. Now Fiona, who is eligible for this particular category?
Well, I think it's important to emphasise that we don't need you to have been totally green to enter this award. You may still be on the journey. Last year this award was won by Crown Relocations, and of course their entry reflected the strides they've made forward across the industry, across their relocation management and in fact their removals sector as well. But you can just be illustrating the steps you're taking to get there. And examples can be on the corporate side, from large corporate organisations to small ones, and across the whole supplier sector. What we're looking for is a commitment to the environment. So it could be green buildings and facilities, empowering your staff to be greener, using renewable energy perhaps, reducing recycling waste, implementing green travel policies, anything really. What the judges are looking for are outstanding examples of commitment to the environment, which has a real impact and may inspire other businesses to go forward.
Further details of that can be found in the categories section of our website. And it's great to have such an exciting high-profile sponsor to support this Green Achievement Award. Another new award in its second year is Excellence in Employee and Family Support. So Fiona, what's the thinking behind this award and who should enter this one?
Well, we set up this category in response to popular demand because there were very many specialists who felt they didn't have a category that met their needs. So it's open to individuals and organisations from any sector if they provide a specialist service to relocating employees and their families. So this could be education consultants, schools, childcare services, perhaps immigration people, language translation, cross-cultural support, who knows. This was a really hotly contested category last year, with entries from banks to relocation management companies, but in the end it went to the not-for-profit organisation Focus, who won for their excellent work supporting expatriates and their families.
So we're looking for an exciting range of entries again this year, really. And our final category, another newer one, is Best International Destination Services Provider, sponsored by NatWest Global Employee Banking. Fiona, given that it's international, does this mean you can't enter if you're in the UK?
Oh, you can certainly enter if you're based in the UK, but you have to be dealing with international clients. We're hoping for even more entries this year, particularly as we've been going around the world visiting various mobility conferences and encouraging people to get on board. So I think we should have a great response.
Great, and we've also been asked whether some sort of quality accreditation is necessary if you want to enter that category.
No, you don't need to have formal accreditation, and we realise that this can be costly and burdensome for some small companies, but you must be able to demonstrate excellence in delivering core DSP services, including orientation and home search, settling in, departures, etc. We're looking for somebody who can really be a shining example, and who better than last year, the fabulous Irish company, the Relocation Bureau, who really jumped for joy and was so excited about winning at the awards dinner last year.
Oh, that's great. And I think if you do have the Euro Quality Seal or a similar accreditation, that would help you do your entry as well.
Yes, if you've got any sort of quality accreditation, it doesn't necessarily have to be the Euro one, but anything from around the world, that certainly means that you have the right qualifications to enter and understand the process.
So let's get to the nitty-gritty then, Fiona. How do people enter?
Well, you'll be relieved to know the entry process is really quite straightforward. You simply download an entry form from our website at relocatemagazine.com. Complete the entry form in full, including an entry statement and submissions against 5 criteria. Then you submit your entry form by email to awards@relocatemagazine.com with supporting documentation.
But full details of how to enter do appear on the website, so do familiarise yourself with that. And of course, a lot of people are asking how they can maximise their chances of winning. I know we will be covering in more detail in the next webinar, but can you provide some pointers for people now?
Well, yes, it's getting the basics right. Follow the entry criteria precisely, read the questions and give plenty of evidence. And see our how to write a winning submission section on the website, which gives lots of useful tips, and there's plenty of case studies as well. There's also some frequently asked questions. You can also sign up for the Special Awards online newsletter, which has got more helpful advice, and of course listen to this continued series of webinars. I remind you that the judging process is completely independent, and we welcome international entries as well as those from the UK. Entry is free and all entries have to be in by Friday the 17th of February.
Right, and on a slightly different tack, are there any categories left to sponsor?
Yes, we do have a few categories, and I would urge anybody to consider getting involved with sponsoring the awards, because you get a fabulous amount of promotion over what is a 6 to 9 month period. So do get in touch with our team if you want to become a sponsor.
Right, and then looking ahead, to the exciting bit. When and where will the winners receive their awards?
Well, the date is Thursday the 10th of May at the Institute of Directors, and that's a lovely venue in central London, and this fabulous Gala Award dinner is a night to remember, so we'd urge you to book your places now.
Indeed, it is a great night. Well, thank you, Fiona. That brings this Relocate Awards webinar almost to an end. But to sum up, we have a great breadth of categories for you to choose from, and entering brings huge benefits to you and your company. The deadline, as Fiona said, for receipt of entries is Friday the 17th of February 2012, which is just over a couple of months away. So it'd be good to start preparing now. Perhaps if you have a quieter time leading up to Christmas or between Christmas and New Year, you might like to think about entering then. But we are happy to receive entries from now. But as we've said before, full details are on relocatemagazine.com/awards. And if you need any further advice or information, please feel free to call me or Fiona on 01892 891 334 or email awards@relocatemagazine.com.
Yes, I would urge you to enter, and please join us next time to hear from previous winners, their tips for success and the benefits of winning a Relocate Award.
And thank you, and goodbye.